Hey everyone, this is my Patreon-powered reaction to the 5th episode of Shirobako. So, in the last episode, we had a couple of big things. One of the big things was Shizuka, who had an audition, an anime voice actor's audition for an anime voice acting role, and did not go so well. She did her best, but there was a lot of nervousness there, a lot of competition. It didn't go as well as it should have, but it usually doesn't. You have to have to have a lot of failures before you start to get somewhat consistent successes. In a lot of aspects of life, but I assume that also applies to this. Anyway, we also had an offline. I keep on calling it offline meeting because I'm just so MMO minded. But we had a meeting between our even meeting's not a very good way to put it either. Just our 5 main girls got to get together at a restaurant and got to talk to each other and hang out, and it was cool. There, I said it somehow. And anyway, we ended off on an argument between Endo and Taro. Pretty much, he didn't want to be the animation director for episode 8 because of something going on, some kind of drama. And I guess we're going to get into that this episode, so let's watch it. 3, 2, 1, play. Kickstart my future. It'd be funny if one of them actually ran into the camera because they kept running dangerously close to it and acting cute and making those faces. If one of them just slightly lost their balance, they just crash into it. But, it's cute, so it's fine. But yeah, the meetup between all the girls was great. Just especially Shizuka, she had a lot of nice little moments, like reenacting some line that she did in a voiceover, as well as reenacting the moaning from that one line. I really did love the line of dialogue she had. And you gotta have your donuts. If you ever want to draw in the air like that, just get a VR headset. There is stuff like Tilt Brush. There are games that let you do that. So, what's work out for us today? Yes. Oh. Oh, wow. Nope, the whole thing. I'm not gonna be involved. I mean, I can't blame him for thinking that, but no, I'm pretty sure he's serious. Don't yell at me. It's your job. She doesn't work on episode 8, does she? uh, Taro, you really don't want me to like you, do you? Uh, is this really worth it negotiating over? Uh, Erika, are you willing to help him? I'm guessing not. You probably should. Yeah, Hona's the production manager. That's bad. Wow, it's getting worse. Uh, clearly. Oh god. That's really bad. Secret weapon. Yes. I don't see how a key helps. Let's talk about key animation then maybe. Or key of the studio. Storage. Well, I feel like they're tricking him. Nope. That would defeat the purpose. Just go into this dark room. Or can I bound him to a chair? Oh. Oh. Welp. Get to work. This reminds me of the one scene from, what was that show called? The one about all the light novel authors. I'm way ahead of you on this. That's the idea. Get to work, buddy. You like how people are like scratch up the wall. There's probably a bucket in there somewhere. Isn't there like a toilet or something in the corner? Yeah, a bucket. See, have fun with that. Oh. I can't tell anymore. I'm getting mixed messages. I mean, I can only handle so much stress. Was she? Yeah, what do you want? Don't be a baby. Yeah, I wouldn't even entertain him. Why should I help you? Why should anyone help you? You lack self-awareness. Yeah, that's the real what we need to know. Okay, here we go. What happened? Wow. Kino's journey? uh, I mean, 3D CG can look pretty good if you know what you're doing. Okay, so I can kind of see why you know salty. Uh, cooler. Well, that's not as bad as the alternative. But I mean, I can still see him. I can still understand him taking issue with it. But yeah, you can't beat hand-drawn animation. But yeah. uh, yeah. Yeah, but he clearly wants to do it. Why can't they just talk to each other? They could be faster. That's not exactly what he said. This is why you should talk to each other. Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves. uh, you need to watch Kimono Friends. That anime was almost entirely 3D and it was great. Frosting is an interesting way to translate omake. Well, yeah, but there are some things that will always look better hand-drawn, like certain backgrounds and stuff. And this is where we were last episode. Interesting to have this like a debate between a 2D and 3D. Yeah, and he told you he wasn't happy with that. Uh He's not wrong, that is the future. But it needs to improve a little bit more before it goes completely mainstream. But yeah, eventually 99% anime will be 3D CG. Wow. Yeah, you're full of it. You really should quit while you're ahead. I doubt that will happen. Yes, I do. You'll run away if I don't. Yes. I would worry about him going out the window, but considering it's him, I don't think we'll have to worry about that. That was bad, and you should feel bad. And his wife, she's cute. Right. I totally didn't storm out in a rage or anything. I'm cleaning here instead. Uh, she seems nice. Jolie's. Is anything like Denny's? Yeah. Your job's kind of important. Well, it won't get it done any slower. Yeah, he seems to like to do that. Well, it's definitely not your girlfriend. That sounds about right. Are we really gonna get backstory on him? Honey and Clover. Yeah, not Ghost in the Shell or anything. Boing Boing Paradise. Oh, wow, dude. Wow, those are some not so nice titles. Well, okay, that's pretty bad. Why would you make a Mo anime with giant tits? Need everyone to end up like Boing Boing. Don't distract our prisoner, I mean our employee. I'm not gonna stay in here a second longer than I have to. Goodbye. You get this when you're done. There we go. He's a smart man. And work fast. Super Space Jelly Lacrosse. I can't say I'm familiar with that anime. I mean, I've heard of Macross, but... it does sound difficult. Practice. Of course it's Taro. Who else would it be? Are you gonna answer it? Yeah, but you don't understand. I don't want to answer this call. He'll answer if I call him. He likes me. Or maybe not. That thing, you mean his job? Yeah, I don't like his job matters or anything. Yeah. Because CG is better. You know, 3D animation has a lot of benefits. Like with 3D with characters, you don't have to worry about like fluctuating breast size or anything because it's literally just moving dolls around. Yeah. Everyone likes anime, let's be honest. Yeah, that's what it's all about. Understand that the benefits and cons of each one will get you really good stuff. You tell them. Things change, buddy. Eventually robots will take most jobs. That's how progress works. I'll be stubborn until the end. But yes, things you have to do change, and you have to kind of be accepting of that, or... It has become quite a mess. Yeah, do something. This is your job. Fix the problem. You even have Aoi helping you for some reason. Wow. Just... Oh, Emma, what are you doing? Shopping? Oh wow, she gets around quickly. Yes, please do. That sounds like it could be a nice scene. And here we go. We're bouncing back and forth here. Well, we're bouncing from scene to scene quickly is what I'm saying. A pro. Yeah, I thought she was an animator. Yeah, we're working on that. So many characters in this show to remember names of. Yeah. It'll be CG. We just mentioned that. I mean, CG is already much more efficient than hand-drawn stuff. Could at least say goodbye. He is so mean to her. That's what I figured. Shots fired. Yeah, you know. You know you're at a company where different people are supposed to help each other deal with these problems. I don't know why you're being stubborn about this. I can tell. Well, I bet if you lost some weight, that'd be less of an issue. Uh, no, but I can understand why you would relate to that story. No, don't even joke about that. That would be a nightmare. I wonder if any anime has ever done that before. Recap final episode. Ooh, Sagawa. She's an animator too, right? Just like Endo? Yeah, well, animation director, you know what I mean. AD. Yeah, that's why they bother to show his family and stuff. That's a good point. You should probably make sure that's done properly. I really wish I actually watched the anime they're making. I feel like it would make certain things make more sense. Vroom, vroom, vroom. I mean, the explosions do look pretty good. Man, that's a cool action scene. Didn't think Exodus would have, like, high-speed motorcycle chases, but, you know, if it fits the narrative, the storyline, go for it. Good. Yeah, they kind of had to match, so, you know. Did he hang up on you? Yeah, it's all your fault. God damn it, Taro. Why do you even have a job right now? Somebody fire this man. But yeah, hand-drawn explosions would not go well with CG explosions. Especially if they're connected. Like, the end of one episode to the beginning of the next. No, you don't do that. But I guess we have more conflict for next episode to deal with. Gotta fix that issue. But yeah, in the end, you got Sagawa to be the AD for episode 8, I think is what they implied there. I was, for some reason, a little bit slow on, like, really picking up on what that scene was. But it really does remind me of, like, Mika Mika dance stuff. It's obviously better than that kind of animation, but just random characters dancing just makes you think of that. You know, cute female doll, you could shake your ass like the bear does. I wouldn't complain. Don't give it to her. It's not gonna end well. I tried to save you the heartbreak, but oh well. So that was the 5th episode of Shirobako. And as usual, problems seem to be arising. So not only do we have the one issue with Endo wanting to quit because of some CG versus hand-drawn drama with another with other people, the disagreement. You also had Kinoshita, the director, who's not getting the storyboard done, so Honda ended up having to lock him up and pretty much babysit him until he actually finishes it up. Sometimes dangling some fried chicken in his face to get him to actually to do his job. You know, I know it's hard to just sit down and do your job when you are a man-child, but still, do it. I know I give that director a hard time a lot, but he was not my least favorite character this episode. The one that really got on my nerves this episode was Taro. He's just so he is insufferable. He makes everything worse. He keeps fanning flames. He keeps dragging Aoi in to help him whenever it's convenient and, you know, kicking her back away when he doesn't need her anymore, then drags her back as soon as he runs into trouble again. He's just, he's so insufferable. Why is he even at that studio? Why haven't they fired him yet? Just cut him off. Aoi's good. Erika's good. He's the only problem. Just get rid of him, get another cute girl in there, and we'll be fine. Oh, and I looked up, you know, that scene where they locked up the director in there until he got his work done? That reminded me, the anime that reminded me of was Imoto Saya Irabai, also known as The Sisters All You Need. That was the anime that reminded me of, because they had something similar in there when the one light novel author wasn't getting his job done. So I guess that's just like an industry standard. That's just a thing they do when someone's not, when someone that's at least someone important, has at least a somewhat important job is not getting it done. You just, and he's the only one that can do it. You lock him up in there until he does so. Anyway, we do eventually find out what the deal is between Endo and Shimo Yanagi. And pretty much it was a disagreement about whether or not the explosion should be handled in CG or hand-drawn, which is obviously a big debate amongst people that care about anime in general. So it's nice to see that's actually getting represented in this anime as well, because it only makes sense for it to do so, because people have very strong opinions on this. Some people are hand-drawn purists, and they won't accept anything else. Some people try to say that's the future, you know, all anime should go this direction, and it's just a matter of time before it does. And some people have a bit more of a in the middle you know, standpoint, but you know, the point is, it is definitely a very heavily debated topic, so you know, it's cool to see some coverage for that. Now, unfortunately, Taro was the one that was giving these messages back and forth between Endo and Shio Manamadagi, the 3D director, and that meant that there was a bit of the telephone game, you know, was going to change a little bit every time he sent the message, and he was terrible at delivering the messages and made people, usually Endo, angry and make him feel like he's not needed, which obviously there is, I mean, part of the reason is because he probably already feels like hand-drawn stuff was going by the wayside in exchange for this new fancy CG stuff, so there's probably that chip on his shoulder was probably there before, and that kind of made it more easily, and made him blow up at it a little bit. It was a ticking time on basically, and Taro basically pushed the button, I guess would be a good way to put it. But eventually, yeah, he just stormed out. So, you know what, I'm find something else to do this episode. I quit, you know, and all that. Of course, throughout the entire episode, there was a lot of confusion exactly who was doing what in regards to the animation on this thing. To the point where I'm not even 100% sure I fully understood what our final result was, but I'll get into that later. Apparently, the director Kinoshita has got like some kind of Best Director award, and for such works like Full Naked Hypnotist, Honey and Clover, and Ghost in the Shell, I guess. And then he moved on to his truly best work, Boing Boing Paradise. I believe he called this first original work, and yeah, Boing Boing Paradise, where all the girls are like I don't know, a G cup, roughly around there. So, you know, it's kind of like Senran Kagura, I guess you could say. Maybe dialed up a little bit higher. But, yeah, as a Justice enthusiast, I can't say I was a big fan of that, but, you know, I have no doubt that there are plenty of people that would have enjoyed it, but we already heard about the disasters that happened with the production of that. Kind of hurt the director's reputation a bit, and it was just overall a disaster. The kind of thing that you tell horror stories to new animators and people about, and tell to your kids when they're going to bed at night. Just don't end up like that. But yeah, so yeah, we got to see that. I mean, 3 recap episodes, that's pretty bad. It's really hard to justify that. Now, interesting scene we got was between 3 animators, Endo, Hota, and Kitano. Kitano, who I guess has like been in the industry for a long time, for like before they were born. So they obviously had a lot of respect for him and all that. So, but this led to a very interesting like discussion about, you know, CG versus hand-drawn. Because you would think somebody that's been in the industry as long as him and as used to hand-drawn stuff as he is, they kind of took it for granted, like, well, of course they'll be on our side, you know, against this fancy new age CG nonsense. You know, hand-drawn's the only way, right, my buddy? You know, but no, that's not quite the case, because he very much does see the merits in 3D CG and like think that it's definitely worth learning and incorporating it into your own animation to improve it. And that maybe it is possible to be a little bit better than pure hand-drawn if you know what you're doing and understand the strengths and weaknesses of different animation styles. But, you know, and they're like, no, that's nonsense. Who said you can't believe you're on their side? Don't you know hand-drawn for life, you know? You know, that amazing counter-argument that they gave, it was honestly very childish from their side. Because just, you know, it's when he gives a very mature response to it and then they act like that, it does definitely... They come off as very childish as well. I know some people are very much stuck in their ways and they get very defensive when they feel like their job that they worked so hard and learned and improved their skills. If they feel like that's at jeopardy, I could definitely get people getting defensive over that. But still, you can't just fight progress like that. It's people like that that really prevent the world from moving forward when they don't want to become obsolete. It's really overall a hindrance. And it's just a very selfish position to take, really. Even if I can understand it, it's still very much selfish. I think the line from them that pissed me off the most was, yeah, move to Hollywood if you want to do CG that much. That was such a hateful, ignorant thing to say. It bothered me a lot. If that wasn't bad enough, they followed it up with saying, right, Kitano-san? Like, you're gonna agree with my ignorant nonsense, right? I mean, clearly everybody agrees with me, just, I don't know. Maybe they were a little bit drunk, I'm sure that had a little bit to do with all this, but still, that really rubbed me the wrong way. Just, I feel like I complain about a lot of characters in this show, but just, yeah, just, no, he does not agree with you. Now, when Kitano brought up teaching, like, Japanimation, I don't think anyone really calls it that, but, you know, tricks to 3D animators, when we said that, the first thing I thought of was stuff like Ruby, where it was made by somebody that was familiar with 3D animation, and he liked anime, so he kind of took some of that anime stuff that he knows and tried to incorporate it into his skill set, 3D animation. And you can make some pretty cool stuff like that, you know, obviously. It's never going to be like, you know, truly anime when you do that, but it definitely can make a very compelling product, so that is some good work that he's doing, so it also irritated me a little bit when they called that a waste of time. It's just like, can I just strangle some of these people? That would make me feel so good if I could just do that. Anyway, that was most of what I had to say on the episode. All we really have left after that is pretty much you had Taro figuring out a solution to the animation, the explosion animation problem, and he did his best with that, but what he did led to some inconsistency problems. So now they have to worry about connecting the end of episode 8 with the episode 9 in a good way. So that's kind of the next problem they had to tackle. And because he did run into a new problem, he's dragging Aoi back into it as if it's her problem, even though he already cut her loose from this. He just pulls her back in because he's also kind of a man-child as well. And he's the one that irritated me the most this episode. Even though Endo and Hato kind of irritated me a little bit as well, it was in a level below Taro. Well, I guess we'll just say that. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I did complain a lot about things in this episode, but, you know, it's kind of the point. Like, they were trying to make me angry, so I'm not going to say it was a bad episode because of it. It was very much intentional. They were definitely trying to really... What I'm trying to say is, although I definitely complained a lot, I don't want people to interpret that as me not liking the episode. It was still a good episode. They were bringing up these important discussions, and I'm glad that they did that. I'm just saying that the people I disagree with irritated me a lot. That's all I'm really saying. But anyway, I've kind of rambled enough as it is to... Yeah, I guess I'll look forward to the episode, see how they deal with this next problem. And then, of course, the next problem that comes up and the problem after that, because that's what working a job entails, you know, solving one problem after the other until you eventually, you know, retire, quit, or get fired. So, #FireTaro. Thank you for watching, and thank you Cnouki, the Dragon of Oshu, as well as everyone else, for doing what you can to support the channel. It means a lot to me, and I hope we can continue to grow the channel together. If you want to do more to support the channel, then you can become a patron on my Patreon and get cool rewards like early access to certain videos. Have a good one.